Hello again, welcome back to Is It Shit? Back for another plugin review. This is an interesting one. Bob Clearmountain, the legendary mix engineer who mixed the best mix of all time as far as I'm concerned, Woman in Chains by Tears for Fears. Incredible mix. He inspired me to become a mix engineer years and years ago when I was first starting. He was who I was looking up to. And I've been lucky enough to work with him a couple of times. In fact, he stood next to me whilst I mixed a show in LA twice. Here's a picture of me with Bob. Anyway, Bob and his wife run Apogee, fantastic company, makes some incredible converters and a whole bunch of other stuff. And for a while now, they've been making plugins. I've not really looked at any, so I thought it's about time. He's just released the Clearmountain 8068. He's modelled his Neve 8068, and that's what this is. Now, anyone who knows Bob knows that he mixed a lot of his famous records that everyone loves on SSL, but he also has a Neve desk, and the Neve he loves for recording and the SSL for mixing, and sometimes it gets flipped. He's just a big lover of beautiful old analog desks, aren't we all? Anyway, it's time we had a look. So let's find out if the Apogee Clearmountain 8068 is it. Yeah, this one's going to be tricky. I can tell already. I can tell just from looking at the interface. It looks gorgeous. Let's get into it. So, here we are, looking at Bob Clearmountain's 8068. It's modelled on his actual one. So, yeah, it could be really cool, couldn't it? Let's start with the beginning. We have got the preamp section, which, as you know, on a plugin, it's not really a preamp because you don't need to preamp a signal once it's in a digital situation. Think of it as adding the character, adding the saturation. It gives you the control for adding the signal in, and then it lets you drive in more or less of the analog kind of harmonic vibe. You can flip it between line and mic for a slightly different sound. Check it out when you test it at the end, when I test it at the end. We've then got the very classic Neve 8068 channel EQ. So we've got a shelf at the top, which goes from 10 to 12 to 16. We've then got a bell mid-range, which goes from 0.35 up to 7.2, switchable. It's got a high Q button, which basically narrows the Q and gives it a little boost. We've then got a low shelf, which goes from 35 up to 220. And we've then got two filters. We've got the high pass and the low pass, which the high pass starts at 45, goes up to 360. The low pass goes from 6 up to 18. You've got a phase button to reverse the phase. Always useful to have that on the channel. We've then got an output fader and an output pot, and we've got an auto button, which will basically take into account whatever you've done on the channel and gain match it. Not overly complicated. We've got a couple of meters down the bottom here for the input and the output. We can scale it with that little button there. There's an A and a B. You can copy and paste. If you go and click on the little gear, it will show the values of how much you're cutting and boosting, which is sometimes useful if you don't always want to rely 100% on your ears. Yeah, there's nothing else I could really say about it. Let's get into the demo. 14 days, which I think is standard in it. Everyone does 14 days pretty much. Price wise, $99. Now, if someone told you you could have Bob Clearmountain's Neve 8068 channel for $99 at any point in history, you'd jump and bite their arm off. However, we have to take into account there are other dogs in this fight. I thought it might be interesting to put this up against the Noise Ash Need 31102, which is basically the same thing, but it's got a few extra things. It's got an extra mid-range band, which isn't on the hardware. It's got a few extra little bells and whistles that make it a bit more interesting. However, you're able to set them up identically, ignore that extra band, and I did that, and I ran a null, and they're very similar. I've got a plot here from Plugin Doctor. You can see they've got harmonics in exactly the same places. They overlap, so clearly modelled on the same kind of desk, even if not the exact same one. The issue is going to be the price difference. The Noise Ash is very, very cheap, and this is $99, which isn't massively expensive, but it sounds so similar to the Noise Ash Need one. It's a difficult choice. It really is. Yeah, price I think is the problem. $99 is not expensive for this, and I would probably pay it. But when you see the Noise Ash stuff, you start thinking, that's a lot cheaper and does more. And it is as good, in my opinion. It is as good. There's nothing in the way of extras. It's just the channel. Now, for the purists out there, maybe that's perfect. But for me, combined with the price, it's going to knock the whole thing down to 3 stars. I'd love to give it more. I hope Bob don't get the It sounds fantastic. It really does. And will I get it? I might, because it's Bob's desk. And yeah, I'm a bit mad like that. Even though it costs too much, I think I still might get it. Anyway, there you go. The demo's at the end. Hear it for yourself. It does that Neve thing, the 8068 and the 8058. For me, my favourite Neves by a long way. I use that Noise Ash nearly all the time, and when I'm using the Vustec Model N channel, I set it into the same 8068 kind of mode, because to me, it's just the nicest EQ in the world. The top end is beautiful for vocals. I love the set frequency points. They just work for almost everything. So yeah, I like it a lot. Not shit. Anyway, if you could like the video, that would be handy. If you could subscribe to the channel, that really helps. We're over 9,000 now. I'd love to get to 10 this summer. That would be great. We've got 2 Instagrams. We've got Studio Life 101 for the channel, and we've got Mixdown Mastering for my mixing and mastering website. There's also the website where you can go and see the top 5 plugins. I've also got a bunch of courses on mixing, mastering, compression and other stuff, and it's all there. And the test of this is coming up in just a second, and I will see you next time. Adios. Right.